Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy Rod Thomas Jr. And this is the real news behind the news. Oh yeah, today is overcast Tuesday here in Shreveport, Louisiana, February 18th, 2020. And real briefly, I made a couple of posts. I made a post on a couple of pages, my page, and then transparency for education in the cattle parish, whatever that is. But I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Whatever happened to ass whoopings to your children, disciplining them at home, as opposed to sending them to school and they running over these teachers? Now, I'm gonna be real. I don't want to seem like I'm contradicting myself because about a week or so back, we had a teacher who was up at Green Oaks. Now think about this. This teacher was a band director. She was a band teacher. And she was having problems with the children up there, and she called them Cooper Road kids. So you know everybody from the Cooper Road went off. But let me ask y'all a question. What kind of music teacher cannot get black children who love music motivated? And what's the problem with our children when they go to school? Now, again, I don't want to seem like I'm contradicting myself because, first of all, as a trained professional, you should know how to motivate your students. But let me ask everybody that was born in the 70s, what happened when you went to school and you didn't sit down, shut the fuck up, and do your lesson? I remember when going all the way up to Green Oak with Mr. White, Mr. Jackson, they had paddles. And you knew that when you go there, if you did something wrong, you was going to get your rump knocked out the frame. And then if you went and got your rump knocked out the frame at the principal's office and they called your mama and daddy, what was going to happen? You was finna get a double knocking of your butt out the frame. For real though. Now, we was talking about this earlier, and my whole point of view is this. Education starts at home. We're sitting around here. I'm going to be real. Let me give y'all some real game. You got a bunch of 30-year-old grandmothers. 30-year grandmothers at 30 years old, meaning they had daughters at 15 when they was children. Frederick say, whether a school has corporal punishment policy or not does not mean the parent is not instituting punishment. Guess what? If the parents was instituting discipline and punishment at home, they wouldn't have a problem at these schools. But again, what is happening is you got a bunch of 30-year-old fucking grandparents who are raising their daughters and their daughters' children and sending them to this school wild as fuck, man. Mr. Jackson should be ashamed of what he was doing. Hitting. Wait a minute, no. Fred, didn't your mama whoop you when you screwed up? Guess what? Mr. Jackson should not be ashamed because he helped produce a lot of intelligent, intellectual children because you knew one thing. When you went to Mr. Jackson's classroom, you sat down and shut the fuck up and did your work. What's happening is, I'm going to be real, Fred, and you know, me and you keep it real. What's happening, Fred, is you all are putting this psychological bullshit out here to these children, telling these children that we don't know how to deal with you, so we're going to let you figure out, little Johnny, what's best for you. Now, fuck that. Little Johnny needs an ass whooping at home before he's sent to that school. Because what's happening is your children are going to school right now and acting like savages because there's no discipline at home. Discipline starts at home. Does not the Bible tell you if you spare the rod, you spoil the child? Again, we're going to go back. You got a bunch of 30-year-old grandmothers raising their daughters and their daughters' children with no discipline because half these grandmothers are in the club. Half these grandmothers are hooked on social media. Half your grandmothers and parents right now that's sending their children to these gladiator school camps, because that's what they really are. They're gladiator camps. They're no better than the fucking children that they're sending there. Straight up. Discipline starts at home. When we were children, guess what? Corporal punishment was the norm. And guess what? The graduation rates was higher. The illiteracy rate was lower. You know why? Because most children knew if they didn't go to school and do what it is that they needed to do, they were going to get their ass tore out the frame when they went home. So you all will sit here and rather the parents not discipline or teach their children obedience at home, but yet still you sending them out to this failing ass school system that does not give a damn about them. Because your school is proven here in Cattle, 3/4 of your schools here are failing, man. They're failing. You know why? Because kids go to school, they don't give a damn about those teachers. The teachers are afraid of the parents. And the parents don't have control over the school board. Everybody is afraid of everybody except these damn children. The children don't give a damn. They're not afraid. No. You got children right now going up there whooping teachers, man. Where does that shit come from? At home. If your child has the audacity to swing on a teacher, that means your child will knock you out because he's not being taught at home. Discipline. Go to school, sit down, and shut the fuck up. Do your lesson. That's really what's going on, man. So all this psychobabble and all that psychological bull crap that you all are putting out as paid professionals, don't you think we should have more passing schools? So guess what? As paid professionals who went to school to learn how to teach our children, who failing our children then? We're going to put it off on you all with this psychological bullshit that y'all putting out, telling kids right now. Well, do you realize in certain states, they're no longer going to grade your kids on an A, B, C, D, or F system no more because they don't want to offend slower thinking students? No. You are basically witnessing the agenda that's taking away the right of the parent to discipline their child at home. That's why they don't want you whooping your kids at home. So now when you send your kids to these fucking gladiator camps, because that's what they really are, your public school is nothing more than a gladiator camp. Notice when you go around your school, don't they look like prisons? They got fences and all this. Why is that? These are gladiator camps. Basically, your children are being subjected to a school system that really don't give a damn about them. Now you can't discipline your child at home. The teachers can't discipline your child at school. So guess who finna discipline your child? The police. For real. I mean, hey, Danny say them damn Cooper Road kid. I'm a Cooper Road kid, and guess what? When we were coming up on the Cooper Road, pretty much everybody that went to school graduated. Even the slow people, they might have flunked 2 or 3 times, but they graduated. You know why? Because we knew if we acted up, we had principals and teachers that was going to knock our brains out our heads. And it wasn't beating us. It was no violence. It's the point of the fact that at some point, adults have to have the ability to discipline children. So you're sending your children undisciplined to a school system that does not give a fuck about them already. And as soon as your child do something, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to call the police. Now your child is in juvenile detention or juvenile custody. Actually, what you all are suggesting, Fred, helps feed the school to prison pipeline, because you're telling parents it's not about disciplining your child at home. But yet still, when your badass child go up to these schools and cuss out these teachers or whatever, guess who got to deal with that shit? Eventually, you're going to have to deal with it, whether you got to go down to the police department and get your child out of juvenile custody, or your child is getting kicked out of school because no parent at home is disciplining or teaching discipline. Now, keep in mind, Discipline does not mean whooping all the time. But when we were kids coming up, Frederick, let me ask you a question. What you know about an extension cord or a switch or a belt? I'm willing to guarantee you, Frederick, that you are where you are today because you knew if you went to fucking school and acted a fool, you was gonna come home and your mama was gonna knock your head off your shoulders. Come on now, let's keep it real. All that psychological bullshit that you all are indoctrinating these children with today is bullshit. This is why kids don't respect you all, because you're trying to negotiate with children. Why? What you look like, man, negotiating with a 10-year-old and you 50? You a 50-year-old so-called professional educator and you trying to negotiate with a 9-year-old who's so screwed up because he has no discipline at home. Man, that shit don't make no sense. It's just real. What's y'all opinion on this subject? Leave y'all comments in the comment section, man. I gotta get ready to go try to do something. But hey, let's think about it. If you don't discipline your kids at home, guess what? They're gonna go to school and act a fool, and then guess where they're gonna wind up? Guess who's gonna discipline if you don't discipline them at home? The police and the prison system. Y'all be blessed.